Gardens feature bright, colorful, cheerful blossoms. I don't know why someone would want to name a place Grey Gardens, but that's the name of the Long Island estate where Edith Bouvier Beale and her daughter, also named Edith Bouvier Beale, lived in the middle years of the last century. It's also the name of a documentary that was made about them and of a musical that's now being performed by Max and Louie Productions at the Jewish Community Center. The word grey fits the estate as we see it in the documentary and in the second act of the musical, for in the 1970s, the Beales have gone through their money and lost their trust funds. They inhabit a few of their mansion's 28 rooms as it crumbles about them, condemned by the Suffolk County Board of Health. Eventually, niece and cousin Jacqueline Bouvier, by then the widow of a president and wife of a wealthy Greek shipping magnate, along with other relatives, stepped in to help. That made gossip columns and front pages, which led to the documentary and the musical about these women, once the brightest flowers of the New York social scene, now gray recluses clinging to life and perhaps even to contact with reality. The musical's first act takes us back to the glory days. In July of 1941, Grey Gardens is bustling with preparations for a lavish party to announce the engagement of little Edie Beale to Joseph Kennedy Jr. Yes, those Kennedys. As she does for all her parties, Big Edie has prepared a list of songs, a long list, with which she will entertain her guests. Little Edie is appalled. She should be the center of her engagement party, and as usual, her mother intends to take the spotlight. They argue and they make up, singing and dancing together. They both have show business talent and ambitions, mostly frustrated. A woman of Big Edie's place in society in her generation did not go on the stage. Little Edie tried but didn't make it and retreated to home and mother, inseparable in their poverty. If Doug Wright's book for the musical, Scott Frankel's music, and Michael Corey's lyrics don't quite convince me that these two women really deserve this full-dress treatment, they have created something more than a freak show, with more than just the fascination of a car wreck, as director Anna Marie Pileggi puts it. She's brought us a splendid production with music directed by Neil Richardson, nicely spare choreography by Robin Berger. Duncy Dye's amazing set serves up Grey Gardens in both wealth and poverty, as do Jennifer J.C. Krychek's costumes, increasingly bizarre for little Edie. Michael Sullivan shades the lighting accordingly, Claudia Horn the props, and Casey Hunter the sound. At the center of the production is the finest performance you will see in St. Louis now, Debbie Lennon as Big Edie in the first act and Little Edie in the second. Lennon has the voice for the range and subtlety of the show's songs and the acting chops for the range and subtlety of both characters. Donna Weinstein as her foil is Big Edie in the second act, and recent Webster grad Madeline Purchase, another fine voice, wins and breaks your heart as Little Edie in the first act. As Big Edie's resident composer, pianist, and companion, Terry Meadows brilliantly proves that the Miesian dictum that less is more applies to acting as well as architecture. Will Bonfiglio mostly hangs around as young Kennedy with not quite that Boston Irish accent. Several strange accents float around this production. Bonfiglio gets to do more as 17-year-old Jerry, who runs errands for the impoverished Edies. Omega Jones is impeccably correct as the Beales' butler, and then as his son, still trying to help around the shattered estate. Brightly lively Phoebe Desilets as Jacqueline Bouvier and Carter Eisman as her sister Lee visit Aunt Edie. So does her father. Tom Murray gives him the privileges of his class. It is a fascinating production with, at its heart, Debbie Lennon's brilliant portraits of those two women. Quickly, somebody find another role for her. Keep her on a stage.
Yes, very, very good advice.
Yes. Well, let's hear some of that music. Hear her sing, yes.
Ever after when we will build a cozy retreat, which no nosy neighbors can see from the street. Walking in Manhattan, just us and a kid, a cottage on Cape Cod, for two peas in a pod. Come on!
Hey, thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe and check us out on Facebook. The link is below.